Hello everyone, my name is Wraith, and I'm back with episode 2 of my series for Tarkir Dragonstorm Commanders, some of my favorites that I've chosen. Today I'll be covering Sultai, and there were some great choices from this set. Each commander was incredibly powerful for Sultai. I went with the most obscure choice, but I'll leave that to you. If I missed anything, or if you have any comments or any selections, please leave them in the comments section below. So the commander I went with was Teval, Arbiter of Virtue. Teval is a 6/6 flying spirit dragon with lifelink. Teval also has spells you cast have Delve. Delve is a very powerful mechanic, especially with like a graveyard synergy. You can cast big spells for cheap if we can flood the graveyard with some good value. Teval also has, when you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. So that could be potentially dangerous, or we can try and build it into the brew. So let's talk about losing life and the value in losing life. So two cards come to mind when I think about this. The first one is Pact Weapon. Pact Weapon is an interesting include for this. It is kind of jank and busted, but I could see a world where this really pops off. The second option would be Willow Dusk. Willow Dusk is really strong. The ability can only be used as a sorcery, which is a downside, but with the amount of life that we are losing potentially, we could really make Teval super powerful, and we could just gain so much life in one turn potentially. I'm also going to add that Vilis Broker of Blood is way too good. Losing life just nets you tons of cards. This is practically an auto include regardless of how you build it. You can't pass up on Vilis. The most important part of the strategy is the graveyard. So without the graveyard, we are basically dead in the water. We're just paying life to cast spells. So to fuel the graveyard, which we have no short selection of these cards, would be Hedron Crab, Aftermath Analyst, Hermit Druid, Satyr Wayfinder, Underrealm Lich, Colossal Grave Reaver, and Sledge Titan. These are just a few of the really good graveyard fueling cards. With these down, they can help us fill up the graveyard and then get some good delve casts. Next up, I'll be covering some enchantments for the deck. Ripples of Undeath is definitely one of the best cards you can put in this deck. You're filtering out the cards you want and then putting the cards you want in the graveyard. It just does everything this deck wants to do. Next up would be Teval's Judgment. This is a great card at 3 CMC, and we're just netting value every time we cast a delve spell from the graveyard. And then finally, Greater Good. I think this card would be really good in this deck because there might be times we need to sack Teval because we're just in a dead spot, and then we can get some additional value from Greater Good. I'm going to show you some options that will keep you in the game. So two of these additions I'm thinking of initially are Platinum Empyrean and Platinum Angel. Both of these keep you in the game regardless of what your life total is at. So with Platinum Imperium, you can just lose however much life you want and it doesn't matter. And then with Platinum Angel, you can be at 0 life and that also doesn't matter as well. So Platinum Angel does combo with Pact Weapon pretty well. So if you want to go that route, I would recommend Platinum Angel. Alright, I'm going to wrap this up today with some good game enders. So I'm going to start off with Breach the Multiverse. With Breach the Multiverse, we mill 10 cards from each player and then grab a creature or planeswalker from the graveyard and put it onto the battlefield. So if we're playing this at the right time of the game, we have some great options to choose from, hopefully the best cards in the graveyard, and then put them under the battlefield under our control. Next up would be Torment of Hailfire. This isn't really a budget option, but it is definitely a great way to close out the game. Especially with our strategy of delving, we can put some serious mana into this X and then make everyone sacrifice everything and lose a whole bunch of life. It's always a great way to close out the game. And then finally, Repay in Kind. This is a great card after abusing our life total the whole game. We can just knock everyone's life down to the same bracket and then close out the game easily that way. That's going to wrap things up today. Thank you very much for watching. Teval is a powerful commander, and there were so many great includes I didn't have time to share them, but but I will post a high-powered list on my Mox field soon. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. I will catch you again in the next video very soon.